Watercolor is like all about the vibes, man. It's like you you put the water down and then you put the paint down and then you just watch it disperse. And sometimes little granules like are in the paper. And like sometimes there are colors that stain the paper. So like if you try and make the paper white again, you like can't. So let's talk about what watercolors ZA uses, because ZA's got all sorts of colors. Let's like get into it and stuff. This is ZA's watercolor and, well, now watercolor and gouache paleto. ZA made this, and it opens up, and these are the half pans that ZA made, and this is where all the mixing and stuff happens. ZA's paleto is, it changes ever so often, but for the purpose of this video, we have, it's like divided right here in the center. So these colors over here are all the warm colors, and these colors over here are all the cool colors. And as you can see, ZA prefers cool colors to warmer colors, but you kind of need both. But ZA favors the cooler colors, the jewel tones, that kind of thing. And we'll talk about this color when we get to it. We're going to start with the warmer colors because there is fewer of them. And what ZA likes to do, ZA likes to wet the paper first before swatching so that you could really see how everything granulates or whatever. So this color here is Cadmium Red Light. It is by Winsor and Newton, and ZA doesn't usually use cadmiums and cobalts, but ZA found a full vintage tube of this in Scraplanta, and it was like $2, and so ZA had to buy it because, as y'all know, cadmiums and cobalts are very expensive. But this is the warmest red that ZA has. ZA also wants to say that this paper is not 100% cotton. ZA doesn't have 100% cotton paper. So if that offends you, then oh well. But we're using the kind of watercolor paper that ZA uses. Next color right here is a bit of an unusual color. It is called Ericolano Red, and it is from a company that is more known for its oil paints. That company is called Rublev, or you can find their stuff at naturalpigments.com. And if you do buy their watercolors, ZA highly recommends buying them in pans instead of the tubes, unless you add a little bit of glycerin or something to it, because their tubes, if you try to squeeze them into a half pan, it dries really, really hard and it becomes difficult to re-wet. 2. So that is Ercolano Red by Rublev. And this color combined with what's going to be the next color make really good African American skin tones, as well as, you know, mixing it with other colors. This color is one of ZA's favorite colors because of the name. It is Caput Mortuum by Sennelier. ZA has only ever used the Sennelier version, but ZA really likes this color because this, when you mix it with that, makes really beautiful African American skin tones. But also, ZA really likes this color because it's a very warm but deadish violetta color. And the name Caput Mortuum is like it's from the original Caput Mortuum pigment, unfortunately, was from the bandages of mummies in Egypt, and so now it is a synthetic color that's not from mummies in Egypt. Yeah. This yellow here, that's not mold. ZA actually uses crafter's foam as like a layer on top of this so that these colors don't stick to the top, the missing area here, because ZA, as you can see, tends to overfill the pans. So that's not mold, that's just crafter's foam. But this color here, ZA might be changing out at some point. It is Indian Yellow, and it's by a small company called Renaissance. ZA first bought their paint because at the time their paint was really affordable and good quality. The only thing that ZA doesn't like about their paints is that they don't really granulate. And ZA has discovered that ZA likes granulation. And so, not that Indian Yellow itself granulates, but there's a color over on the cooler side that ZA bought that ZA is not happy with because it doesn't granulate very much, and it's by this company. But Indian Yellow is a warm yellow. ZA might be replacing it. Oh, ZA might be replacing it at some point. This next color is a little confusing. It is quinacridona gold, but it's not the pure one that everyone is obsessed with. ZA never got a chance to use the pure quinacridona gold. And so ZA, you can't really miss something you never got to know kind of thing. So originally ZA was using the quinacridona gold by Sennelier. ZA really likes it because it has like a more yellowish gold base to it. But ZA ran out of the tube of that color, so ZA took what was left in here and combined it with the American Journey quinacridona gold. So there's quite a bit of pigment in this and stuff. So it's both American Journey and Sennelier. You don't need to buy both, but ZA needed to restock and was curious about what the American Journey quinacridona gold looked like, and unfortunately it is not as yellow as ZA would like. So ZA might not be buying their quinacridona gold again and might just stick with Sennelier or try and figure out like what is the best quinacridona gold hue. This color is one of ZA's personal favorites. It's a little unconventional, but it's called Periwinkle, and it is by the American Journey watercolors. ZA loves those watercolors, by the way. They are workhorses, and ZA really likes the pigment laydown and stuff. And this periwinkle color, it's the pigments, one of them is like an ultramarina violeta sort of color, mixed with white, CA is pretty sure. But it's so beautiful because when you let it settle or whatever, you see the little bits of like granulation and stuff, and it's just such a pretty color. Next, we have a gouache. It is called Delft Blue. It is by what's that company? Schminke. And ZA really likes this color because ZA doesn't really have an ultramarina blue because, well, it's not the color's fault. It's just the fact that that color is on everyone's paleto and ZA wants to be different. So this is Delft Blue and it's a very warm blue, but prior to putting Delft Blue here, ZA was using a beautiful super granulating color called Smalt Blue, and ZA has to warn you guys that the Smalt Blue ZA was using was from Rublev, the same company that makes the Ercolano Red. And it uses a pigment that is different from the quote-unquote Smalt Blue that Holbein and Winsor and Newton use. And it granulates beautifully. ZA will have to like put a picture of it on the screen, but it is such a beautiful color, but it is also really expensive. And so ZA just doesn't, it's not in ZA's budget to buy. So ZA has this Delft Blue by Schminke. This next color, ZA did a color spotlight with. ZA calls it Blessing Storm, and it is ZA's response to, hold on just a minute. Sorry about that. There's stuff happening at the house today. But anyway, this color is called Blessing Storm. It is a custom mixture, and it is ZA's response to the fact that Daniel Smith's Moonglow is a fuge. There is a pigment in there, the red pigment, that is extremely fugitive. And so ZA made ZA's own Moonglow and decided to call it Blessing Storm. It is the only pure purple that ZA has on the paleto, but ZA likes it because it granulates beautifully and it turns into like 3 or 4 different colors. Like if you see here, let's see, I show you. If you see up here in the top left corner, there's a lot of blue, and then you have purple, and there's some pinks peeping through, and sometimes there's greens peeping through. So this is the last of the warm colors. It is a white in hue. It is called Coastal Fog, and it is from American Journey. ZA really likes this color because it's not quite, it's more of a cream white. ZA has discovered within the last couple of weeks that ZA really likes having both a creamy white and a white. Oh my goodness, what are they doing upstairs? That's crazy. What is happening up there? Can y'all hear that? Oh, sorry to ZA gets distracted easily, ADHD. But ZA likes this color because it is very good for not just foggy skies, but when you want to, you can add it to any of the other colors to make it gouache-like without it being too much of a shift in tone. This next color is Alizarin Crimson by American Journey. It's not the pure Alizarin Crimson, it's a PV19 variation, And this is not the usual color that CA puts in this spot, but CA found a tube of this color. It's a vintage tube of this color and another color we'll talk about, and decided to buy them because they were gently used from Scraplantas. This next color ZA is going to swap out. It is Potter's Pink, and this is the Renaissance version. But the thing is, ZA likes the color, but the Renaissance version doesn't really granulate like at all. And that is just the reason why ZA got this color was because it granulates beautifully, and ZA knows this because Schminke uses Potter's Pink in a lot of their mixes for the super granulating colors. We have another gouache here, but ZA needs to talk about this particular color. Hey God, let's move things around. We're talking about this green color. It has been multiple kinds of greens. Right now it is Winsor & Newton gouache of permanent green light. Sometimes it's Daniel Smith's Amazonita genuine green, and other times ZA mixes the Amazonita genuine with Rublev's or Natural Pigments Nicosia Green Earth. So ZA can't remember the name of this yellow right here because ZA just added it recently, but it is from Royal Talons, and in editing this video ZA is going to put the actual name of this yellow. It might just be called primary yellow or something like that, but it is not quite a warm yellow, but also not quite a cool yellow. It's like in the middle, and ZA really likes this color because sometimes you just need a yellow. This next yellow ZA really likes. It's a cool yellow. It is called Aureolina Yellow Hue, and it is by Renaissance. And ZA likes this yellow because it is just a clean, cool yellow. It's not a lemon yellow, and it's not that Aureolina yellow that what do you call it, aspires and turns into that baby poop green color. It's a different pigment, hence the name Aureolina Yellow Hue. And this next color is currently a gouache. The gouache is Elio Turquoise by Schminke, and ZA really likes this color, but usually what is here is an Old Holland watercolor. ZA is pretty sure it's called like Turquoise Blue Deep or something like that. ZA will put the name of it on the screen. ZA loves that color, but the hue of that color and of this Elio Turquoise is very similar. This next color is a new favorite. It is Prussian Blue, and it is by American Journey. This is the other color that ZA mentioned having a vintage tube of, because when ZA went to Scraplanta, ZA found this Prussian Blue, Alizarin Crimson, both American Journey, and that is also when ZA found that pure cadmium red Winsor Newton watercolor as well. So ZA loves this color because it's a dark greenish blue, but yes, it is a very moody blue, really great for rainy skies. And we keep mentioning skies, but there's other purposes for it too. But ZA also likes to use it when you mix it with like a purple, and you just get this really beautiful like navy indigo-y, and it's just here. Let's use it right now. So we got some of it and mix it with Blessing Storm, and see, it just, it is like it's like a Payne's gray almost. But this next color is also a nice blue. It is phthalo blue. This particular one is from Renaissance, and ZA wants to let you know ZA actually has two versions of this color, because Renaissance has a color called Alio blue or something like that. Or no, Alio cerulean maybe. Anyway, that color is a variation of phthalo blue despite its name. So ZA has two different versions, but it's this one ZA is pretty sure is the PB15, but the other one is like PB15:3 or whatever. So if you're buying Renaissance paints, just know that you know, those two colors are basically the same color. This next color is simply a white. It is titanium white. It is a gouache by Royal Talons. ZA found a couple jars of Royal Talons gouache at Scraplanta one time, and so this is their white, and ZA really likes it. Not too picky about a cool white, just wanted to have high covering power, and this one does. This next color is called Intense Black. It is by Royal Talons. It is a gouache color, and ZA really likes it because it is soul-sucking black. And so that's why it's here. ZA knows that a lot of people don't like to use black paint, and in fact it was like basically beaten into ZA to never use black paint at all, to the point where ZA was too scared to use it. But now ZA doesn't care about art rules, and ZA doesn't have rules for art, so we use black. Last but certainly not least is ZA has the silver paint by Van Gogh. It is part of that's the Royal Talons student grade line, because ZA just kind of felt that it would be cost effective to get the student grade silver instead of spending so much money on the artist grade. And it is a metallic color, a very shimmery color, and ZA discovered maybe 2 or 3 years ago now that ZA loves the shimmer, the shiny, that ZA likes out of the box colors like this, because you can take it and add it to whatever other color and it just makes everything all sparkly and cool. ZA likes to take silver, and this is not just in watercolor, but in acrylics and oils as well. So take some silver and take some phthalo blue, and you get this really, like, it's like Starry Night what this looks like, and it is just so pretty. So these are the colors and some mixes that ZA has in ZA's main paleto here. Once again, ZA made this. And these are ZA's go-tos. ZA has other watercolors too, obviously, but ZA doesn't generally go out and buy paletos or anything, because ZA spent so many days making that one and is very proud of it, that ZA would rather just pop out a pan and replace it with a different color. So if you have any questions or want to learn more about what ZA mixes with these colors and stuff, let ZA know, and ZA will make a video about it and stuff. But yeah, these are ZA's go-to watercolor and gouache colors. So that was like a lot. It was like we went through the colors and stuff, and we talked about like what they do. Colors are very powerful, but they're not the only thing about watercolor that makes watercolor so fun. Um, and like, when CA showed them some of the gouache, you can like use watercolor and gouache together. Like, no one told CA that. CA just started doing it. And like, CA likes doing it. So if this video like helped you at all, then please donate to CA's Ko-Fi account. Link is um on the screen, like, and also in like the little paragraph description below. It really helps us to like buy other stuff like art supplies, and it also helps with like keeping the website up and other future artings and stuff. And if you could, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that like helps too. And CA hopes that like you like get some arting done and stuff today.